boxing fanatic, big boxing fan. I also do boxing as well myself. Um, yeah, I'm a person who's fell in love with boxing over the last 2 years, and I just want to kind of share with you guys my knowledge of the game of the boxing community. Over the past 2-3 years, boxing hasn't been the best. Um, between Top Rank, between Showtime, between PBC, um, they've been struggling to get mega fights over the years. But between the past year or so, a lot of our fights, so we've been able to. I'm gonna give you guys a bit of my boxing history. Um, I've been boxing for about 2 years now, on and off, on my leisure time. I definitely did want to take it serious at a point in time, but and I still am. But right now, I think I'm taking a mental health break from a lot of things right now, so I'll definitely be back in the ring and back in the gym as soon as possible. I would say one thing that inspired me about this, my cousin, Marvin Hagler, a great welterweight champion, welterweight fighter. Over the past 2 years, seemingly some way, somehow, God has put boxing in my life, and it's been one of the best things that's ever happened to me, mentally, spiritually, and physically. I have inspirations of even why I'm doing boxing. Um, I had to pick up something, a hobby or something, after going through a tough time, a difficult time in my life. I had to pick up boxing, and it kind of led me to a great place. It made me find again, and with everything that comes with boxing, learning, and experience, it made me just a lot smarter. You know, boxing does play a heavy part of my life. Like I said, Marvin Hagler is my late cousin. Um, a great welterweight champion, great welterweight throwback fighter. Um, just just actually going into my history of my family's legacy and actually wanting to kind of bring that Hagler feel back. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing this and even participating in boxing. I want to bring my family legacy back, and I just want to share my knowledge with the game, share my fun with the game, my experience. Even though it's early for me, I feel like this is a great time for me to just start and just actually get things going. So I just want you guys to stay tuned. Um, keep up on my page on my Instagram. My Instagram is tagged in my bio on my YouTube, and on my Instagram, my YouTube will be in my bio as well. Need to access or reach me. I will be posting all that soon. Everything will be up. A lot of guest people on here, a lot of guest speakers that actually like boxing, that are involved in boxing a bit. So I definitely will have speakers and guests over time, but I just want to get you guys a little bit of introduction of me and who I am and why am I doing this. So coming up July 6th, Newark, New Jersey. We got Oshaki Foster, KEYSHAWN Davis, SHAKUR, and I don't know how to say his name right, but Constantia, I like him, so I threw him in there. Um, let's talk about Oshaki Foster. His last fight was against Abraham Nova, if I'm not mistaken. Um, that fight was actually a great fight. I watched it live. It was a great fight between them two, if I can't remember it closely. But that was a bang out fight. It was an inside fight and pressure fight, and Oshaki came out with the win. Now he's moving on to a better opponent, and we got to see how he does in this fight. We got one of my other fighters, KEYSHAWN Davis, out of Bowmax camp, which I love because Terrence Crawford is my favorite fighter. KEYSHAWN is my favorite contender and prospect coming up, along with Abdullah Mason. So, KEYSHAWN Davis, I look forward to him demolishing this champion guy. I mean, I seen the guy Miguel Medina's last fight, and it wasn't too good at all. I think KEYSHAWN gets him out of there in 4 or 5, maybe. I'd say 5 rounds. He's trying to get him out of there in 5 or 6 with constant pressure. It'll be faster than Pedraza. Um, I think Shakur will do great as well. Shakur's coming out fighting Autumn, and that fight should be great. Autumn didn't look too well against Martin. Actually, he did okay. Um, that fight was actually a close fight. I expect Shakur to outbox him all 12 rounds and win a unanimous decision if he doesn't get caught with anything hard. Because Shakur's power, I haven't seen it fully there, but I know he has some snap and pop in his punches. So I hope that I see a tenacity Shakur with great boxing skills, meaning like sharp punches that hurt, because they've been saying a lot about Shakur lately, and that's still one of my, you know, pound for pound list fighters. So I can't wait to see him fight and see if he does well, which I know he should. And then we got Constancio, a guy that I've been liking since he fought Shakur. This guy is a major underdog. He fought Emmanuel Narvetti's last fight and gave him problems like hell. Ended up being a unanimous decision draw. Both fighters were great, but I just think that Constancio really took that fight. I think he actually won that fight just off boxing and counter punching and just being a better boxer that night. I can't wait to see him fight. He's a major underdog. I'm going for him. I don't care who he's against. I'm going for him. And that's who I like. So, in his upcoming fights that we have July 6th, I hope you guys will stay in tune and actually keeping up. I will be posting the day or two before, just kind of tapping back in, just letting you guys know that we are still, locked in. We are still watching the fights, and I even may be giving a live fight watching. I will be probably posting on my YouTube account, so you guys just look out for that. I'm giving you guys all the access, all the inside scoop, all the inside tea. It's coming from Brandon Gems. It's coming from Brandon Gems, and I'll be around. And I want you guys to just keep being subscribe to me, follow my pages, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Gems, we out. Y'all hear me? Okay, we live, we live. Um, so I just want to go into a little bit about um who was one of the first people that I reached out to help me with boxing. I reached out to Big Bolt. He's a trainer in Newark, Delaware, Knockout Fitness. He's a great trainer, great guy. Um, I haven't been to him in a while, but that's the person that I go to and I use my services for when it comes to boxing and being in the boxing gym. Um, just in 2 or 3 sessions, I've learned a lot. Um, my first starting out 2 or 3 sessions with him, I've learned a lot with him. He's been great, teach me a lot of things. I've been in the ring. I've been sparring. Um, and a lot of that translates to outside of the gym. I constantly stay fit, constantly working, constantly boxing. So whether it's on my off time, free time, I just love boxing. So um yeah, so if you guys ever need a trainer in the Delaware area, in the Newark or Newcastle, Wilmington area, please reach out to Big Butt on Instagram. Um it's a great trainer. Let's get down to the real, y'all. Um I just want to say shout out to Mill City Boxing. Want to say shout out to Greg Hackett. Um, also GHB TV. Also want to give a shout out to Jasmine, JK Knows, and Fight Hype TV. Those are my biggest podcasts or boxing talk pages that I go to. I learn a lot of game. I soak in a lot of game. I'm constantly up on my boxing stuff. I know a lot more than I should know, starting out to be a boxing fanatic and a boxing athlete. Um, so I just want to give a shout out to those sources. They are great media sources. Um, they've been doing this for some years, and I actually have been inspired by every single last one of them. And pray one day that I do get to work with them I think that would be great for me, and just great because that's where I kind of want myself to fit in on my upbringing and just kind of being involved with those type of status and media, those type of people. Um, they're they're legendary boxing phenomenons. They're legendary. So yeah. All right, let's get into the real talk. Let's get into the real talk, y'all. Let's get to the real talk. Let's go ahead and talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about Teofimo. Teofimo Lopez. Did y'all watch the fight? Did y'all see the same thing that I seen in there? I don't know if it's because um it seems like ever since TEO moved up from 135, in my personal opinion, his power does not translate into 140 um at all. At all. And for guys like Pitbull Cruz and Rolly Romero, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Regis Prograis, them guys got some type of power to be in that division. Even though we just seen Devin, what just happened to Devin, um, which is crazy because Ryan Pop, but nobody knows if it's intentional or intentional. So, but all those guys in those divisions, they have power and they have pop. I didn't see any of that against Steve Claggett. Steve Claggett, first time title shot. Um, and he did well. He did well for his category of where he's fighting. I would say he is a C fighter. I would say he's a C fighter, a decent B plus fighter. Um, and that's nothing to go against Claggett because he did. I was more surprised with Claggett than I was with Teofimo. I just don't understand. So you go from Jermaine Ortiz, a guy that was moving around the ring a lot, which kind of I didn't really understand because Loma did the same thing. Loma moved around the ring, um, but Loma gave him hell. So I seen it's just like I really don't understand because you get a guy that was moving, Jermaine Ortiz, and then you go from a guy that's moving all around the ring to just coming forward, and it's no difference of performances really, mediocre performances. It's not like, oh wow, Teofimo star action. It's not that. It's like okay, like don't get me wrong, Teofimo is a decent fighter. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He's a champion in divisions, but he doesn't fight like it. And that's no discredit to Teofimo Lopez, but Claggett gave him hell. Even though the scorecards didn't look that way, but Claggett's determination and it's just like you couldn't stop him. You couldn't to be an A plus fighter as you so called say you are. That's not an A plus performance. So that's just how I feel about Teofimo Lopez. He threw a lot of counter punches. The uppercuts, a few uppercuts hurt Claggett. He was hurt a few rounds. No, actually, let me say this. He threw a few good uppercuts, which he thought that hurt Claggett, but Claggett recovered very fast and right back onto it. And it's just like it wasn't hurting him. And you want 12 rounds with a B plus or C fighter. How would you look against a Tank or a Ryan or a Pitbull Cruz or even a Elvis Rodriguez, which is still a prospect, an upcoming prospect? I just right now I just think a lot of guys in 140 give TO problems, and that's just where I'm coming from. Let's move on. Let's move on. We got Robeisy Ramirez. I wasn't too big on Robeisy Ramirez until I actually seen him fight, and I'm still not too big on him, but he's a good fighter. Um, I would say his IQ was definitely there, his movements there, good defense, and great. offensive striking. He knows where to place his punches. He places them well. The uppercut was amazing. That knockout was just, um, that could have been knockout of the year. It could definitely be knockout of the year because that knockout was atrocious. Oh God. Um, Robeisy Romero's next fight is Rafael Espinoza. That is going to be a great fight. That will be a great fight. I'm marking it now. They already fought before, and Espinoza got the best of them. But after that knockout, we have to see how they tango again. You know, it's just another great championship fight that I'll be looking forward to see. So let's go into Bam Rodriguez. Let's go into Bam. Bam is one of my favorite fighters. He looked amazing. Star power, just amazing. Everything was just perfect. His shots, his timing, his in and out, his angles, hitting off the angles, which was very difficult and very. It just was watching him is like I can fall in love with it. Watching him fight, he's I think he's the best of that division, and I think he will be the best at the next division up. I think it's 118 if I'm not mistaken, or 120. I think it's 118. But his power, his speed, his timing, footwork, his pressure, mental game, everything is just on board. It's just like tremendous. I think he is a complete fighter in that weight class. Um, I have to give it out to his opponent. Um, was very tough. His opponent was very tough. Bam got knocked down once. His opponent got knocked down twice, if I'm not mistaken. Um, the body shot ended the fight. Um, the body shot ended the fight. It was two hard body shots. First body shot was fast. Second body shot was powerful, and it put Gallo down. So that was a great fight to watch. Um, and after coming off a 2-year layoff, he looked pretty decent. He looked okay. I think that if he continued to be active, I think he could definitely be still a champion. But Bam is just on a whole different level, a complete different level than most of these guys in that division. Um, Another fight, Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach looked amazing. Um, IQ, skill, everything was there. His punches were sharp. Even on the inside, they were sharp. He's throwing sharp, short punches. Um, Moving well, blocking before the other guy, the opponent, could even think about his next move. Everything was just so calculated in that fight. It was great seeing Lamont go off in front of his hometown. That fight was great. I can't wait to see him against the bigger likings like Ashaki Foster, even Abraham Nova. Um, and there's other guys in that weight class that are top contenders and top champions, and I think that he's definitely ready for that leap. Um, just everything from the footwork, from the speed, and ring generalship was great from Lamont Roach. So hats off to him. He fought his ass off. Um, didn't take a lot of punches, but gave a lot of punches. Defense was very slippery. Um, yeah, he's starting to gain on me. So I like Lamont Roach. He's starting to gain on me. Next, we have Elvis. We have we have Elvis Rodriguez, which got dropped in the first round. Recovered well, and it was a battle all the way to the end. These guys were just blowing punches, but Rodriguez is the more slippier boxer, more accurate with his footwork and with his in and out. And and as a prospect, coming up prospect, he looked very nice. He's a big 140. Uh, if they move him right, I feel like he would be great. I think he just needs to sharpen up his skills a bit more, tighten his guard a bit more, tighten his body structure a bit more. He's a bit too loose at times, and that's why he get hits with crazy shots. He has a crazy body frame, so it's kind of lengthy and outward. So, but I like him as a prospect coming up. He's great. Like I said, my homeboy Sav, I'm like, man, I think that he gives Teofimo problems. I think a lot of guys give Teofimo problems just right now speaking. Just because he's giving off C-level performances, I think a lot of guys give him problems right now, and even prospects. Abdul Mason, like certain guys that I think that KEYSHAWN Davis, I think that, um, and KEYSHAWN Davis was calling out this guy um, a few months ago, and they're still going at it. But now that I look at it, I'm like, man, I think I got KEYSHAWN in that fight just off of TEO's determination. Is not. It all depends on what TEO comes that night, what TEO shows up, right? And that's why you really can't bet on TEO, because it's like you never know what TEO's going to show up, and that's not reliable. It's not dependable. So um wow guys, I feel like we went through a lot already. Uh Sorry if I'm just talking like this. This is how it's gonna be. Talking to you guys, just giving you guys recaps and post fight recaps of the fights. And my last favorite, I can't forget about my boy Sonny Edwards. And I have a lot to say about Sonny Edwards because I love him. I don't know why. I just love this guy. I just love this guy. Even after the band fight, his movement, IQ, his intelligence in the ring is just off the charts. I think Sonny is the second best to uh, Gallo and um, Bam. He is accurate, very accurate. He reminds me of Shakur, but just in a lighter division. You know what I'm saying? Footwork extreme, ring generalship extreme, slipping, looking like, and Boots does that too. Um, a lot of guys does that. They make you miss it and they look like So he was doing a lot of that against a guy that was coming forward, throwing big overhand rights, and he was just slipping and dodging. And I think in about the fifth or sixth round, he got a cut right here, which ended up determining the fight to be a unanimous decision to Sonny Edwards. And like he said, I watched the interview. He said his plan was to just fill him out the first few rounds, be accurate into the sixth or seventh round, and then just take over and just demolish him the last few rounds. And I could definitely see Sonny that was his plan because he was doing what he wanted in that ring. I think if that cut wasn't present, I think we would have actually seen him knock out the guy off of counter punching. I think he would have turned it up a bit and took some more risks. It would just been great to see because seeing Sonny fight Bam, um, didn't think Sonny had too much of a dog or fighting him until after that Bam fight. I realized now he has it in him.